Hello everyone, it is great to have you here. We're going to be chatting about some products that are, I think, really similar to high-end. And I choose the word similar carefully. I've been on YouTube a long time, and I do love to do some dupes videos here and there. And I consider a dupe to be a product that is pretty much exactly the same as another product in texture, in the experience putting it on, in the finish, in the color. It's got to check all those boxes for me to want to say this is a dupe, because you know what? Some people might go out and spend their hard-earned money on that and they want it to be a dupe. And I gotta say, for as much as I love TikTok, I think TikTok is so entertaining. You never know what's going to come up on your feed. There's a lot of great, really, like, I would say raw seeming beauty info on there from people who have not been all, you know, polished up and sponsored and got deals in their back pocket and all that stuff. I think that's great. However, the word dupe gets thrown around all over the place, and I've even seen some people call things dupes when they don't even have the high-end thing to show for it. Let's protect the word dupe and reserve it for things that are exactly the same as another product you've tried. And if it's not exactly the same, there's another word we can use, and that's similar. If it shares some of the qualities and you can explain what those are, let's call them similar. And I think in so many different products, like when we're talking foundations, concealers, when we're talking things that are very formula oriented, and we know that that dupe that we're holding up, the thing we're calling a dupe, does not really contain many of the same ingredients, or there's a good chance that with all the different skin types out there, it could be a dupe to you, but very much not a dupe to somebody else with a different skin type and different factors at play. The word dupe probably gets clicks, but let's say similar if that's all it is, okay? My stuff in this video is similar, and I still think it's super valuable info because it could still save you money, and I will show you exactly how similar some of these things are. And frankly, that might be as far as some of us are interested in taking it. You know, you could be saying, I like that shade of whatever, and if you could find something that's really close to that, it doesn't have to be exactly the same, I'd love to try it. You know, that may be the mindset of the masses, but again, I say, let's just leave dupes for true dupes, and if it's similar, we'll say similar. So here is my first thing that I want to mention, the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. Tons of reviews floating around on this. Watch them, get informed, see if there's somebody out there with your similar skin type and what kind of experience they've had with this. For me, I have normal to dry skin. I find this to be a pretty nourishing, medium coverage foundation. So that means I feel like it's adding some hydration to my skin. It has a pretty look, I would say. The skin looks more radiant when I have this on, and it definitely feels a little more hydrated to me. And I'm in the shade 4 Neutral, by the way, in this stuff. And guys, the reason why I'm not doing like a split face with this is because some of my base products, like the shades are not exact. For example, I'm going to be talking about this LYS foundation here, and the shade I happen to have is actually a little bit deeper. Like I can make it work, but side by side with this, they would look like really off. But I have this in the shade MP3. It's the Triple Fix Serum Foundation. And you might be thinking, well, Em, those are both Sephora products. Yeah, but this one's like half the price. This is $22. This is $44, so you could still save considerably. And it's interesting because this is not a brand new product, but it's new to me. I purchased it recently, so both of these have kind of been in my foundation trying rotation at the same time. And I started to realize that I got a very similar experience in the application and the overall look and feel of the skin when I use this, same as when I use this. They're both hydrating. I'm wearing the LYS today. I just put it on all over my skin. I bounced it in all over with a beauty blender, and I feel like I had that same like level of radiance to the skin, if not maybe a little more hydration than the Charlotte Tilbury. But I think it's a fantastic foundation. I think it's gotten a lot of buzz, and I think given the time I've spent with it so far, I agree with that buzz. I think it's really good stuff. So I think if you're looking for that same like radiant finish to the skin that's not caused by flecks of sparkle, but just by the feel of the formula itself, and you're also into an overall medium coverage look, you could save some by going for the LYS, I think. Then I get to thinking about concealers, and a newer concealer to me that I got was the Rose Ink, and this is one of the most hydrating concealers I have. I have it in shade LX030, and you may have seen me using this in my video where I was trying brands that you guys recommended to me, like stuff I might have been missing out on, and I do think this is a beautiful concealer. It's high coverage, and it's a really hydrating. And then I started to think, is it really that far off hydration wise from my e.l.f. Camo Concealer Hydrating? And I really don't think they're super far off. Do I think they're exact formula dupes? No, I don't, but this is really similar, guys. I've really been using it for a long time. I wear it in the shade Light Peach, and it's like the more I think about it, the more I play with these formulas back and forth, they are really, really close in offering that great hydration level, but also having really good coverage. There are some concealers that just can't do both. These both are great concealers, but if you watch that video where I was using this and talking about how nourishing it was, you might go for the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer because I feel like they're a lot alike. Here's my next thing, and if you're kind of moving along in the demos and thinking, well, did she set her face then? I definitely did. I set my T-zone with translucent powder. So then we can start talking about bronzer. And there's a bronzer I've been talking about a lot lately that I love. It's the Physicians Formula Butter Coffee, and it is a satin finish bronzer, okay? It's got a little bit of a glow. If you buy it new, you will see a golden overspray on it, but it goes away with like the first brush stroke across the product. So, I mean, I don't love overspray, but it's not that annoying. But glowy, beautiful, not too light, not too dark. It's something I can contour with. And I got to thinking about other bronzers that I have, and I laid my hands on Hoola Glow, which I really like this stuff. And it's the same tone and also really the same finish on the skin as well. I couldn't get over the fact of how similar the tone is of both of these. The Hoola Glow might be a tinge cooler, and that's maybe why I wouldn't call these exact dupes, but it's honestly really, really close. This one is a little bit softer, so like meaning when you put your brush into it, you will immediately pick up more from the Physicians Formula without having to scrub in. Not that you have to scrub in a bunch with this, but you know what I'm saying. This is a more softly pressed powder, I feel, and the look is just so similar on the skin, and that finish is just so nice. And it's like, I've already told you this is a great product. You probably believe me, but just to back it up a little bit, it's really similar to something high-end. Looking at my blushes, I love my Laura Geller blushes. I have a cool little split pan here that, gosh, when did I use this? Back in probably my most recent Laura Geller video. And you've got this shade called Ethereal Rose, which is more like a highlight in this blush duo, or they call it Blush and Brighten Multi-Purpose Duo. And then this subtle Sateen Berry, they call it. And what I love about Laura Geller stuff is that it's complex. You know, the baked stuff has swirls of about 5 different colors in there, you know, and the end result is something really like pretty and mauvey and kind of berry, but not too loud, you know. And I thought about other either mosaic style blushes that I have or baked swirled blushes, and one that comes to mind, this would be a mosaic blush that has multiple tones in it. It's from Catrice and it's called It's Wine O'Clock, and this actually, even though it might appear in the pan like it would turn out way more pinky than this one, and I'm just talking about that one side of it, they're actually really similar in their soft mauvey, hint of berry, hint of pink kind of look on the skin. So I've got the Catrice on today, and I just love these. These are so nice, and you really only have to barely touch your brush into them. They're pigmented and they're kind of soft, okay? I've got another shade that's more peachy, but this is probably my favorite one that I have of the Blush Box Glowing and Multicolor blush. Really good. Now, my loves, do you remember when I was trying my Westman Atelier mini sticks? And there's a highlighter that is super dewy, and the one I have is called the Lit Up Highlight Stick in Nectar. And the way this looks on the skin, first off, if you apply it straight from the stick, or even if you get some on your finger and you kind of, you know, dab it on the skin, there is some moisture and some kind of rich hydration in this that makes it pull a little bit. You have a little feeling like, is that pulling at something I've already put on? But I'll give it credit. The look on the skin is really unique because instead of looking like a streak of shimmer, it looks like a streak of dew, and like just dewiness, glossiness, a little bit of a cheek gloss type thing. And there's something brand new that I just recently tried from e.l.f. called the Daily Dew Stick, and they have this in actually a few different shades, but I have the one called Iridescent. This one is really good about being feeling that colorless, dewy glow. I know whatever I'm doing here on my hand is not really showing, but I will show this in application. I just get a little bit on my finger and dab it across the cheeks. And what I actually prefer about this over the Westman Atelier is that it's so thin. It still gives you that dewy glow, but your skin doesn't feel as tacky afterward, and it doesn't feel like it's pulling around on product that's already been applied to the skin. So I think this is a really cool thing. It is kind of literally cooling on the skin too. I've got another shade in that, actually a pinky color, and I was wondering if this might be similar to my Tula stick. And I haven't gone and compared those back and forth yet, but I think it's going to be very similar as well. So yet another way to save if you want that very specific glowy look on the skin that is not caused by particles of shimmer. I'm trying to get back into my pencil liners. I own a lot of them in some beautiful shades, and as I was going through the other day, I realized, oh my gosh, I have a Charlotte Tilbury pencil liner, and the shade is Amber Moon, and this color is really pretty unique. It's like a deep brown, but with some shimmer, but more of a satiny cool brown thing going on. Like, it's got a sheen that gives it some added softness, but it's not sparkly in any way. And I thought, I wonder if I have something drugstore like that. And I do have this So Fierce vinyl eyeliner from Revlon, and this is in the shade Mighty Mocha. And I'll be darned if it's not like so similar. It has that little bit of satin finish without identifiable sparkle. The only thing is that this might be a little bit darker, and that's why we're calling it similar, not a dupe. But I have that across my lash line today, and I want you to see how pretty and easy the glide is. Like, I mean, I'm just going across. I'm not applying a lot of pressure. We don't like to tug and be hard on our eye area, but this just glides super easily and wears well. So I wanted to definitely mention that one. If you're an Amber Moon fan and maybe you're like, I don't want to keep repurchasing and repurchasing this, you could get this Revlon So Fierce and honestly have the same look with maybe just a hint more depth, but the same kind of satiny finish in the color. All right, couple of lip things. I love how this video is serving as a chance to reference some of the newest things that I've been trying, and one of them is the Heartcore lipstick from Too Faced in the shade Sweet Tea. So this kind of comes off sort of dusty rose mauve on the lips. It's a balmy type of finish. You know, you have a little shine, it definitely has some moisture. Not long wearing, but that's probably not what you were looking for if you're getting into a product of this type. And it does have the little heart in the center. And I realized that the shade is super duper similar. Like, as far as this video goes, probably as close to a actual dupe as we have, but the formulas are different. But it's the L'Oreal Color Re-Shine, long-time favorite shade, Varnished Rosewood. My favorite of the whole line. It's kind of Your Lips but better. It has that mauviness, that dusty rose quality. But here's the thing, the drugstore formula is more intensely hydrating and rich and leaves a little more shine on the lips compared to this. So I can't call them dupes, but man, is the drugstore one, in my opinion, better and feels more luxurious than this stuff. So definitely take note of this one, my friends. This stuff, I mean, I've been talking about it for years, it seems like. It's so good. You've probably tried one by now in this Color Re-Shine line, but you may not need to shell out for this one if you're really interested in that kind of shade. And my last lip color thing, I don't want to seem like I'm ragging on Lisa Eldridge in any way, because I think her lip color that I've tried here, the shade called Velvet Beauty in her Velvet lipstick range, it's so beautiful, and it's beautiful on a number of levels, from the packaging to just little details about the way they did the lipstick bullet and everything. I think it's amazing, but I did kind of wonder about the shade because I thought, oh, the shade is so pretty. And I recently got a couple of Superstay Matte Ink crayons in berry colors. As I said in a video recently, I've got all these nudes and a few deeper colors, but I want some deep berries. And as it turns out, this shade called Chase Dreams seems a lot like this one color-wise, in that it's not really pure berry, it's like deep pink. And I've actually got each one on my lips. I've been wearing both of these today in the video, but two key differences would be that this is, I think, a little bit darker and a little bit thinner feeling formula. When Lisa Eldridge goes across the lips, it's leaving like some thickness. There is that nice luxurious quality, but actually one of the strong points that I love about Superstay is that when it hits your lips, I feel like it thins out, and for being a long wearing product that sets, it feels really comfortable because of its thinness. So I noticed that difference in application. And again, this shade, if you're looking real close, if you're being super critical, this is just a little bit darker darker than this. But overall, if you saw that shade in my lip try on video and you're like, I'd just love to experience that color, think about the shade called Chase Dreams from the Superstay Matte Ink line. And my friends, that wraps up my similar products where the lower cost is similar to high end. A lot of these things have been recently tried, so some new material that I've been sort of mulling over in my head thinking about what's similar. And I hope you know that you can count on me that if I have something that's an exact dupe, and with dupes, you know, more likely where I'm going to find those is maybe in a certain eyeshadow color or a certain blush color, a certain lipstick color. There will be times when I will land on some exact dupes, but those kinds of things just don't happen every day. And if you're interested in similar, that's a lot easier to find. And I just want to be honest with you that, you know, each of these things had maybe some reasons why they weren't identical to the high-end product, but the majority of factors about them made them pretty close. So I hope you like this. Give it a thumbs up if you do. Share it with a friend if you liked it. Even though I'm an old dog on YouTube, I'm still trying to grow my channel and get out there to more and more people. So I so appreciate your help in that journey. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon. I love you. Bye.